Connecticut is about to pass a law that would require those accused of domestic violence to hand in their guns and ammunition while the case proceeds. Accused domestic abusers would have to surrender firearms within 24 hours under legislation that won final approval in the Senate on Monday afternoon. This is the Connecticut Senate, and now heads to the governor. The goal is to protect women from the increased lethality at a critical point in a relationship when they are trying to leave their abusers. About 14 domestic homicides occur annually in Connecticut, half of which are caused by guns. And furthermore, the bill would require court hearings within 7 days, and if judges decide against extending the orders, weapons would be returned within 5 days of that. Currently, court hearings are held 14 days later. So they're actually speeding up the process under this new bill while the weapons are being held. So this is Connecticut, a largely Libby sort of state, but it has in the past had a significant Republican presence, at least in the governorship. Currently, there's a Democratic governor. He has implied that he is going to sign this bill, which has just passed. And there were both Democrats and Republicans who voted for it in the Senate, which is something we might not expect. So do you think that this policy makes sense?
So let me get this straight.
Mm-hmm.
You have beat your wife.
Yes.
Well,
you're being accused of domestic abuse.
So
the trial hasn't yet proceeded. It hasn't been confirmed. You've been charged. You've been accused. So at that point, they disarm you.
I just don't think... so they're erring on the side of safety?
They're erring on the side of the safety of the person in the relationship.
Over the...
Who generally will be a woman, but not necessarily. This is gender-neutral language.
Oh, so over the constitutional rights to own a gun?
That's a neutral framing of it, yes.
Okay, well, it's a tough call if you're, a maniac really likes guns, but it's not a tough call for me. I think it'd be, at the very least, you should take away a guy's gun who's been accused or charged, and then if he gets off, then you give him his gun back.
Yeah.
But in between, he doesn't get to have a gun. I think that's okay. He could still have a knife.
That's true. That's true. That's a nice macabre take on it. That is true.
He could still have a bat. He could still have a bat.
He will still be dangerous, as they have been in the past.
He could have nunchucks.
Nunchucks, which require some talent to use, admittedly.
Right.
I know from my childhood. They're difficult. You'll hurt yourself.
They should be called nutchucks, because I'll tell you
exactly,
what,
you will hit yourself right in.
Very easy to hit yourself in the crotch or Rooney.
Now, while we know that if you employ nunchucks, you're much more likely to hurt yourself, we do know historically if an abuser has a gun, they are significantly more likely to use it to kill the person they've been abusing. So absent the gun, there is apparently less of a chance of the person killing them.
You're kidding.
That's
You're
what the
saying
studies have shown.
Statistics prove that if you don't have a really easy, glamorized way to kill someone, that you probably won't do it?
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
I was shocked to find out, too. But we need to make it clear because there's some people watching.
So I've been wrong.
You've been wrong because you've been saying guns make it much harder to kill this whole time. You were dead wrong.
Whenever I'm at a party and someone yells, fight, I go, get the guns, right? I say,
let's make this exciting.
Let's make it safer.
It's safer, yes.
Everyone get guns.
Exactly.
That's what, isn't that what you're
But here's the thing. So we're joking. A lot of the Republicans in the Connecticut Senate, I believe 13 voted against it, are saying, of course, this is going against your Second Amendment rights. Look, the Second Amendment never says that there is no regulation whatsoever on guns. And look, under a worst case scenario, your gun is going to be taken for less than 2 weeks. If it turns out that your conspiracy theory is true and there was no domestic abuse and women are just going to start accusing men willy-nilly, then the worst that happens is you lose your gun for 2 weeks. And if you desperately need to have your gun every single day, I think you should not have that gun for a little while.
I agree.
I don't think it should be that important. You can want the gun, you can have the gun. Look, my father owned guns. If they'd been taken away for a week, he wouldn't have lost his shit. He would have just not gone target shooting for a week or two.
My father owned a gun, and we all almost shot each other with it. So,
really?
Well, yeah, it was a big mistake. My dad was a cop, so he had to own a gun.
Yeah,
and he would keep it in a locked drawer.
Yeah.
And of course, my brother learned how to pick the lock. It's not like Fort Knox. It's just a dresser.
It's a dresser, yeah.
So he picked the lock. And my dad, I told you this story before. No, my parents went out one day, and you could hear him, and they left. We were in the basement, And they were going out for the day. Anyway, next thing I know, my brother's got the gun and he's pointing it at me, laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, don't F around, don't F around. And next thing you know, we hear the door open upstairs. My dad
Oh, yes.
had come home because he'd forgotten his gun.
Yes. Thank God he remembered he'd forgotten.
He beat the shit out of my brother so bad.
Oh, that's dangerous. He should have used the gun.
I
Keep
said,
it safe.
why not just shoot him? Yeah,
Why not just shoot him? That's
really.
teach him a lesson.
My brother's head was bleeding, the whole deal. He was in bad shape.
But really fast, to return to this, there's the fear from the right of the slippery slope, that if you could confiscate a gun, which, by the way, there are already situations involving domestic abuse under which your guns can be confiscated. This is not establishing some wild new precedent. It's simply moving up the date that your gun can be confiscated. You don't need to actually go to jail or receive some sort of massive punishment to trigger your gun being taken away. And judges could always make that determination on their own. That's common across the country. But this is under the time when she's accusing him of the domestic abuse. This is the time when she's leaving him. That's the dangerous time. She needs to be protected during that time. So on the right, they're going to be worried about the slippery slope, that this can now be expanded so that your gun can be taken away under other circumstances. I would say, how about we embrace the slippery slope of increasing worry about the protection of women in incredibly dangerous situations, and also men in a not insubstantial number of instances as well. Let's begin to worry more about stopping people from being murdered as a country, go down that slippery slope for a couple of years.